Today we're tasting Black Bear's Treasure.
All right, so this is a blueberry mead, also known as a modern day melomel. I have to read this to you, and I hope this is completely tongue in cheek. I mean, obviously, they're not being serious about this, but here's what they wrote on the back of this mead as a description: Black Bear's Treasure, modern day melomel, blueberry mead. I'm not really sure why they keep calling it a modern day melomel. Melomel's a melomel, but anyway. The Black Bear of North Jersey has a journey. I can't even do this with a straight face. Has a journey to embark on every year as he awakens from his den to seek the buzzing sound of the makers of his treasure. He knows he has a job to do. His goal. This is funny. His goal is to roam the trails. And it's really hard to read too. Roam the trails around Greenwood Lake in search of the delicious honey that makes up the world's oldest beverage. He will risk the sting on the nose to obtain the sweetest honey in the Skylands. He must guard and protect this treasure until he can get it to the colony. Huh? He goes this 100-mile adventure every year so that we can provide you with some of the most delicious modern-day blueberry meads around. So, what they're trying to say is that a bear makes a 100-mile trip, risks getting stung to bring honey back so they can make mead with it. That's really the only description they give for this mead. Like, there's nothing else. I just think that's weird. Anyway,
Perhaps
sorry.
there's a story behind the story that
I hope so.
maybe there's a man that they lovingly refer to as Black Bear, and he's the one that travels from North Jersey to collect the honey for the meadery.
Maybe. I hope that's it, because otherwise that's a really weird story. But anyway, this is a 375ml bottle of Black Bear's Treasure Blueberry Mead, and it is 14% alcohol by volume. Why did we try this one? It looked interesting in the store. I know absolutely nothing about it other than that. I didn't even read the back of the bottle until just 5 minutes ago, and I started laughing so hard that I said I have to do it on camera. So I'm just going to open this up. We removed the plastic because it was kind of pain. Yeah, it's got a nice little pop. It's got a pretty color. I like the color.
Yep. It has that nice dark jewel tone color that we appreciate in our melomels.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And when I put it up to the light, it's nice and clear.
Yeah, it's there's ever so slight cloud, but I mean, it's like a 1 on a cloudiness scale out of 10.
When my first approach on the smell, I got some odd peppery notes.
I'm getting the fruit, without a doubt. I'm thinking there's more than just blueberry in here. There's definitely some sort of blackberry, raspberry. It actually, I get a little bit of honey off the smell.
I'm thinking they added maybe some lemon juice or some.
Yeah, there's
some
some sort of acidic citrus in here. I mean, the smell is not the best I've ever smelled, but it's certainly not the worst. It's somewhere in the middle. If I had to put it on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd say it's like maybe a 6 to a 7. Now, I do get some amount of a green smell to it. Not a lot, but a little bit.
It didn't have any serving suggestions, so we're tasting this at room temperature.
No serving suggestions, no tasting notes, no ingredients list, no production, no nothing. Just a bear went 100 miles and got honey. It better taste good, that's all I have to say. It's very tannic.
Yeah, but I like it.
It's not bad.
It has a refreshing complexity that I normally don't find in commercial meads, so that's making me happy.
Okay. I get a little bit of initial sweetness, then it goes right to tannins. I would say it's a little overly tannic for me. Not a lot. Like, it's very tannic, okay? If you don't like that mouth pucker thing, you're not going to like this mead. I'll just tell you right now. But it does have a surprising amount of flavors, like she said. It's more complex. It's a mature mead. This is actually aged nicely. It smelled like it might have been green, but it's actually been aged nicely. I can't tell if they simply made mead and added blueberry and citrus juice afterwards. There's definitely lemon juice in that. I'm telling you right now, there's lemon juice. I can't tell if they added it like for secondary, stabilized it, and bottled it, or if they actually fermented with it. I've tasted fermented blueberry before. I'm gonna say they added the juice later, or they back sweetened with a lot of juice. They could have fermented it.
Which I'm perfectly fine with because it gives more pronounced
it's still mead.
fruit.
It's not like they made white wine out of grapes, added honey and blueberry juice to it. I don't think they did that. This definitely tastes like a mead. I get the fermented honey thing. I wish they didn't go so tannic on it though, and I'm wondering if that's intentional. I mean, it almost has, it's sort of reminiscent of a dry red wine with some sweetened notes. But overall, I like this. Okay, don't get me wrong. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give this like a 6, which means it's good. It's not great, but it's good. I would drink this. I don't know if I'd buy another bottle of it to drink it, but if someone offered this to me, I'd say, oh yeah, I've had that before. I'd drink that.
Yeah,
That's pretty much the way I see it.
I think I'm appreciating it slightly more than Brian, but I like tannic stuff.
To me, it's like 20% too much. It's still, I mean, it's not unpalatable, but it just feels like a bit too much with the tannins. It's just instant, like gravel mouth, sand mouth. It just instantly does that.
So, in reading the bottling and distribution notes, it's bottled and distributed in Odessa, Florida.
Which isn't far from here, actually.
But it's produced by a meadery in Allentown, Pennsylvania.
Allentown.
Allentown, sorry.
Which is close to where I grew up.
Yeah. So that's kind of interesting because Brian is originally from Pennsylvania and I'm originally from Florida. Coincidence? Yes, absolutely.
What I don't understand is why the black bear had to come from Jersey, because there's black bears in Pennsylvania too. Probably more black bears in Pennsylvania than there is in Jersey. Okay, I'm going to give this another shot.
Yeah.
This is what I'm trying to say. I know it came out kind of nasty, but I'll just be honest. I've been in a lot of pain for like a week and a half now. My neck has been acting up, and that makes me a little bit cranky.
So for me, again, the scent is not as pleasant
really
as
not.
the taste. The taste is far superior to the scent.
I think what put my guard up right away was the scent made me go, oh. After tasting it a little bit, the scent makes more sense now. Figure that one out.
It's probably the tannin acid play
coming through
in the scent. But definitely sweet forward, and then it goes on to the tannins and the fruitiness. And
this has some sweetness to it, but I wouldn't say that it's like a dessert mead. It's kind of a medium sweet, I would say.
Now, what would you pair this with?
That's a really good question because it's so fruity that it's hard to put with a food.
Now, we have recently been experimenting with crumpet making, which has...
Experimenting? I've perfected it.
It's mighty tasty, and we're both a little baffled as to why
they didn't take off.
Why the colonies, us colonists, us rebels, didn't bring crumpets and do that here.
But that's another show.
So, because of that, I would like to pair this with crumpets.
I mean,
forget the tea.
I can imagine turning this into a syrup and putting it over crumpets, or something like that. It would be great. Mm-hmm. I don't really want to encourage mead with breakfast, but at the same time, it kind of goes. It does work with that.
You can have it with your afternoon tea.
As much as I don't think this is a dessert mead, I honestly think it goes best with dessert type things because it has that tannic property, making a sweet dessert taste a little sweeter, and it has the fruitiness which could enhance whatever you might be having.
Well,
like a cheesecake. This would be wonderful with a cheesecake.
Yeah, because the cheesecake has that kind of
serious
tart
richness.
But it's got a tart note too.
Yep. The tannins here would cut through that and they would enhance each other. The fruitiness of this would work with whatever fruit you might put on top of your cheesecake. I think cheesecake would probably be the best. But you could also have this with, say, like a pudding, and I don't mean like an English pudding. I mean like a custard style pudding, something like that.
Or even pairing it instead of switching out wine and use this with like a cheese plate or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like with a cheese plate, like cheese and crackers with various fruits and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, this would work great. I could even see this with a really rare steak. But it doesn't work well with like roasted potatoes or mashed potatoes or anything like that.
Yeah, but you wouldn't.
You don't want to mix garlic with this. I don't think that would work well.
No, I don't. And like even sometimes we make the horseradish sauce.
That would be bad for
Don't do that.
So that's why I say like a red meat, but nothing too overly seasoned or
Right.
anything like that. You
Right.
you want to keep it fairly simple. However, like a chicken with rosemary herbs and things like that might actually work really well with
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Just trying to think.
Yeah. I want cheesecake now though.
It is 9:35 in the morning, and we're drinking mead and considering food options. This is probably going to be a long day. Anyway,
So in synopsis, the smell is kind of off-putting, but the taste, for me at least, is quite
I
pleasant.
like the taste. I just wish. I mean, okay. Here's the thing. No matter how much I like something, I'm going to be critical of it. I'm critical of my own stuff.
It's true.
So to me, it's a little bit too tannic. Like I said, only about 20% too tannic. Take that back, and this would be great. Like I actually give this pretty high marks. I think this is nice. Of the commercial meads that we've had, this is probably the best one.
Yeah. Yeah. So good job, Black Bear's treasure.
I just wish they would talk more about the mead and less about this bear that traveled 100 miles to bring back honey to the colony. Because that's just weird. But as always, guys, thanks for watching and have a great day.
Bye-bye.